Okay, guys, welcome back to Sci-Fi Quest. So Silo, episode 8. Um, Nice to see that we open up on a cornfield. It's nice to know that they grow corn there, which is good. Um, yeah, let's see what else we get. So this is obviously her mother. Um, Having some kind of clandestine meeting, or clandestine, I should say, meeting in the middle of a cornfield. Yeah, not bad. Why not? It's also kind of shown that there is actually a healthy black market going on inside the silo because it looks like she's traded some medication possibly for whatever's in that metal box. It's actually very interesting that they're showing cultivation inside the silo because crops growing indoors is a thing. I mean, I know a little bit about hydroponics. In fact, at some point, I'm going to be growing hydroponic vegetables and fruits. But an indoor field, yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, I would have thought that the upkeep of a hydroponic system, you can have a hydroponic system that large. You can grow corn in a hydroponic system as well, if you know what you're doing. So, yeah, makes sense. A rabbit. So she traded for a rabbit. Okay. Well, I suppose there are reasons why you would keep rabbits in a situation where you're in a controlled environment like that. Makes sense. So apparently the rabbit is not a pet and they're not going to eat it. So I wonder if that's something that they're going to trade for something else. Well, so this is what I was concerned about. It's a flashback episode. To be honest, a lot of the time they take these episodes too far in shows. And I hope they're not going to go too far with the flashbacks in this. But clearly, she's hiding from the same people that started looking for her in, was it Gloria's apartment last week? Okay, so she's hiding in the nursery. Okay, so it looks like we've got Sims is going to try and intimidate Gloria into telling him what Juliet has. Apparently, she helped him and his partner have a child, and yeah, okay. So she's trying to access the hard drive now. So it'd be interesting to see if we can find out what's in on it, because there's going to be a lot of interesting old information about the silo and the people, which will be a huge advantage. Someone playing with a bunch of magnifying equipment. So you've got multiple lenses there, you've got glasses, you've got magnifying glasses. So yeah, they've made, I can see the benefit in that. But we also know from previous episodes that this technology is actually banned, so you're not allowed any magnifying equipment. So you're not allowed a lens. So essentially the cameras that Sims and these people are using are technically banned technology. So it'd be interesting to see if they suffer as a result. But I doubt we'll see that. But it looks like we've got her Juliet's mother, Hanna, looking through some magnifying lenses. Okay. So it looks like we've got some veterinary medicine going on. So she wanted the magnifying glass to try and fix a hole in the rabbit's heart that she thinks it has. So okay, so she thinks of herself as a bit of a vet, does she? Oh, so I see. She's trying to prove the benefit of that kind of technology when it comes to medical care and stuff. So yeah, I mean it is an advantage. It's technology that they've obviously lost or forgotten about, and as a result, it's been banned because, well, I can't see why they would ban it, to be honest. I mean, it's a benefit to the silo and the population. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's a way of saving lives that they don't want. Because obviously you're limited with space and resources inside the silos, so you have to limit the population. And if someone's got a life-threatening illness, that can be saved, but it outweighs the benefit of the population numbers outweigh the benefit of saving someone's life. I suppose. I mean, what do you guys think? So she's just had a call from Billings calling her to the office. You need to come to the office. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I wonder what's waiting for her in the office. So, apparently Meadows ordered the judicial team to search the sheriff's office. Again, I don't think that was Meadows. I think that was Sims. It's Sims that's giving the orders. Meadows is just a pawn, basically. So now she's having a flashback to her childhood when the same people were actually searching her home. Okay, so at least we know that it goes back a long way, but I don't know if that would be because of Sims. I mean, is Sims the same age as Juliet? I'd say they're pretty damn close, so I doubt he would have had the power back then. So yeah, I would guess that it would be whoever was the judge before Meadows, whoever that was. So the reason she built that magnifier in the first place was because she wanted to prevent another person dying from heart defects that could have been fixed. It seems that that Juliet may have had a brother. I think he was mentioned in a previous episode, but who died because of a heart defect. And if that's a correct assessment, then yeah, I mean that's understandable as to why she would turn to illegal tech to try and solve issues that caused her great loss in the past. It makes sense. And he obviously, as the doctor, I don't know. I mean, he seems a bit. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him by the looks. I think because he's got people above him, pushing down basically. So he's limited to what he can do. I mean, we know that they're forcing him to falsely remove the contraceptives, so to prevent certain people from getting pregnant. Okay, makes sense. So he decides to use a hammer and smash it up. Well, really and truly, all you need to do is smash the lenses up, because once the lenses are gone, it's probably going to be impossible to find replacements in the silo, to be honest. So literally all he had to do was smash up the glass, not the rest of it. Oh, she saved the rabbit. But I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe Juliet was actually the one who reported her mother. Her father clearly is trying to say that he never did. And I'd believe that. I'd actually believe that Juliet may have basically turned in her mother. It would, in a way, make sense. I mean, she's a little girl. She would have had it drummed into her that the pact was important. You have to report your family for illegal stuff. So, yeah, I could see that happening quite easily. So he wants to search her bag, but she is basically saying it's not going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, I think Juliet is actually smart enough to know not to carry it with her, so she would have put it somewhere. And so I'm wondering where in the nursery might she have put it. I guess we'll find out later on. So Sims is really pissed right now because they failed to bring him the hard drive that he's been looking for. And I'm assuming the hard drive has information that he wants access to. Because obviously he's not destroying the artifacts. I mean, I would have thought that if they're banned artifacts, illegal artifacts that could cause trouble for the silo, it would be part of their job to destroy the artifacts, not store them in a room in the office. So it's a question. It makes sense. If you agree with me, comment down below. Because I believe that he wants to find out what's on the hard drive for some reason. So here comes Julie, and she's trying to arrest Sims. Nice. For illegal search and seizure. Nice. He deserves that to happen, but I doubt it will. So it's going to arrest Sims. Billings, I would suggest you cuff his hands behind his back because I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't trust him with his hands cuffed at the front. So I would suggest cuffing him from behind, which would be a lot safer for everyone. But I don't think he's actually going to do anything because I reckon because he believes he's untouchable. He really does believe he's untouchable, and Julie is going to actually prove that he is not in some way. At least that's what I hope. Anyway, smart, very smart. She's now alone in Sims's office. She closes the door. I wonder if she's going to open the doors behind the desk. That's something I would do if I was her. If I was a sheriff in a situation like that, I would be opening the door. One of the oldest tricks in the book. A false back in the filing cabinet. Yeah. Okay. It's a bit of an odd one. It is old, but it is odd. Because people would know that the drawers will open to the same distance. So... But, it makes sense. You're trying to hide some files and, it's the easiest way to do it. And you know where they are and they're easily accessible. Okay. She's found her mum's file. So, is this where are we going to find out whether, as a child, she turned her mother in or her father did? I wonder if they're going to show us who it was. Looks like she may have found out who turned her mother in. She kind of looked at the file at the end and had a surprised expression on her face. So I'm hoping that she found out who it was, and I hope we're going to find out in this episode and soon because that would be nice. So basically, her dad has basically explained, what happened. Julie was curious, just wanted to know why her mother killed herself, and father goes for a very emotional explanation, and that how he failed her, and why he left her in mechanical, because she was so much like her mother, and that in mechanical she could fix things. Important things, real things, and how important the magnifier was actually to him as well. So, yeah, it's an interesting explanation, and it makes sense. I like it. So they've just been told that Judicial is there. Well, not Judicial, but someone from maintenance has been sent to check the vents. I think Judicial. I think it's someone undercover pretending to be from maintenance. Unless it's someone she knows. If it's someone she knows, then that would be okay. But I'm assuming that it's just going to be someone pretending to be from maintenance, but he's actually going to be from Judicial, looking for the hard drive, specifically looking to have a look at the vents. She hid the hard drive in one of the. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that was quick and easy. She didn't have time to hide it properly. So, yeah. she's concerned that the person from maintenance is not from maintenance. So actually, it's that the nursery is a dead spot, and she knows it. So she's theorizing correctly that it's someone from judicial coming to fit a camera in there, or as they call them, sensors. Clearly, Sims has a huge, intimidating presence among the sheriff deputies. He asked for a coffee, and Jared, the deputy, was reluctant to get anywhere near him. So, I mean, clearly they're concerned. I mean, they know how powerful he is. He's possibly, in their eyes, he's the second most powerful person in judicial, which makes him extremely powerful. But clearly, he's not more powerful than the sheriff. I mean, the sheriff does have the power of arrest, clearly, and he wants to use the radio to make one call. Now, here's the thing I don't understand: is why would he? He would know, being part of a judicial, that you've been arrested, mate. You can't make a call. And there probably isn't a system in place in the silo like you have out here in the real world. I mean, we get arrested, we're allowed one phone call. So I doubt I doubt they include that in the pact in the silo, which kind of begs the wording of the pact. I mean, we haven't had anything to go through the entire pact. I don't want to Google it because you end up with a lot of spoilers. So when they come up with that, I just want to make one call. Can you do me a favor? Let me make one call on your radio. No, you really can't. So, yeah, makes sense. The thing is, since meeting Billings, I've actually grown to actually like his character. So when I see him like this, I'm actually concerned. I mean, I like Billings. He seems like a really, really good guy. So when something like that, he just dropped plate, and it's obviously to do with this syndrome that's going around in the silo. And I'm wondering if it is actually a natural occurring illness, or if they're actually like a population control thing. Because I know that anyone with a syndrome is dealt with in a certain way. I mean, I don't know exactly how. I can't remember if it was actually mentioned in previous episodes. When this season, when the season's over, what I think I will do, I will rewatch them and make another video for the entire series. Not necessarily like this, but just giving my opinions and impressions, basically. But I mean, I'm really starting to feel sorry for this guy. I mean, he's a really good guy. He doesn't deserve to have the syndrome, but I'm wondering, is it something genetic, or is it something chemically induced? So maybe somehow he's been infected with some sort of illness that can't be passed on physically, but can be possibly passed on through genes. So it'll be interesting to find out whether his child is going to be sick or not, because that'd be sad. I mean, maybe they've even got a cure for the syndrome. Maybe the syndrome is something that was going around when people went into the silo originally, and they've actually got a cure, but they possibly only don't give it out because of the population control. Because you're limited, like I said before, they're limited with space. So if they're limited with space, then they have to have some sort of population control. I mean, look at China. You're only allowed one child. If you have a second child born illegally, in China, if I remember correctly, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe in China, any second-born child is given to the government basically to become a soldier. That's why they have a large military force. It's not because people are voluntarily joining their military. It's because they're literally being born into it. Which, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, China is it's an interesting way of bolstering your military. It's like in this country, I think that we made a mistake when we in the UK when we eliminated national service. I mean, just look at, is it Sweden or Finland? I think it is. I mean, they don't have to have a large standing army because every single member of the population has been trained by the army. So you have a large fighting capability, but you don't have a standing military force. So I think something like that, national service is something that we should in reality um, bring back. They should. It's just my opinion because I think national service it could be a benefit. I mean, it could increase the fighting capability of a country, increases the education because I mean a lot of people in the UK, especially, they'll join the military, but they'll get degrees. They'll get university degrees whilst they're serving in the military for 6 years or 3 to 6 years. So, I mean, the benefit is there. I mean, how else is someone who comes from a poor family going to afford to go to university? They have to get a grant from the government, and then you've got to pay that back. I mean, it's not just a grant they give you and you don't pay it back. You have to pay it back, and there's thousands upon thousands of pounds just to go to university. I don't know if you have this in other countries, but in the UK we have a higher education system, which means that you can go to college directly after school, or directly after secondary school. That secondary school is our high school, our junior high school. I presume that would be the equivalent in the United States. So. It's basically we've got college would be the equivalent of high school in America, so it's basically higher education. So yeah, I reckon stuff would be beneficial, but I mean, like I've said, I mean Billings. I mean, I feel sorry for this guy, and he's a nice guy. He really is. I like him. So, shush. So, Martha's just had a message from Julie's father saying that she's on her way. Yeah. I was hoping there'd be something like that because it's showing up on the computer screen, which is nice. So, they do have an internal network. So, Jules' dad told Martha that she would have been there at 6 o'clock. So, Martha went to the door, and you could see how reclusive she is. She's actually scared to leave her her shop or her apartment. So yeah, she's concerned, and she's told a friend that she was supposed to be there an hour ago. So it's been an hour since we saw her coming down the stairs. So we have Lucas. He's in his usual place, staring at the screen. I think he's more interested in seeing whether the image will change again. Because you remember in a previous episode, they when the power was shut down, as it was shutting down, they would actually see what it actually looks like outside. All green and lush, with grass and trees, blue sky. But then they're so used to seeing this grey, dark, dreary image outside, and we can see this. They don't often see the stars either. They don't come on. They don't appear on the screen that often. But yeah, I'm not sure I like this guy. I mean, it's not because Jules is and him. Well, he tried to kiss Jules and she pulled back. But I don't think I like this guy as a character. I'm sure he's probably a pretty good guy, but I'm curious about him, but I don't really like him as a character. So he's just told Jules that the only way to access the hard drive is someone who has sysops level clearance, which means she has, but she can only access it on her office computer. So has to literally go to the sheriff's office, go to her computer, plug it in to get access. It's either that or the head of IT and I'm assuming I believe he said the mayor and the head of judicial. So there's only 4 people that can access it, and she's one of them. But she has to use her specific computer in her office. That makes sense in a security aspect, I guess. But I mean, she could. I reckon she'll go to the mayor. I mean, I think the mayor would actually be on her side. And even though he's only temporarily the mayor, so I reckon, if she went to the mayor, then, I think he would plug it in just to find out, out of curiosity himself, because I doubt he would have ever seen a hard drive with that kind of clearance level. Maybe. We'll see. So he's just told Jules that the only way to access the hard drive is someone who has sysops level clearance, which means she has, but she can only access it on her office computer. So has to literally go to the sheriff's office, go to her computer, plug it in to get access. It's either that or the head of IT and I'm assuming I believe he said the mayor and the head of judicial. So there's only 4 people that can access it, and she's one of them. But she has to use her specific computer in her office. That makes sense in a security aspect, I guess. But I mean, she could. I reckon she'll go to the mayor. I mean, I think the mayor would actually be on her side. And even though he's only temporarily the mayor, so I reckon, if she went to the mayor, then, I think he would plug it in just to find out, out of curiosity himself, because I doubt he would have ever seen a hard drive with that kind of clearance level. Maybe. We'll see. We finally get to see what one of those cameras look like. Interesting. So she smashed the mirror just to prove to him that there's something going on. It's nice to actually see that their cameras are real and that they're that big. I would have thought they would use pinhole cameras, the tiny ones. But I mean, that is enormous for a hidden camera, especially considering the monitors that they're watching them on. Yeah. Maybe they're big because that's what they would last longer because they're made out of stronger stuff. Maybe, but yeah. Let's find out some more. So he's not going to help because he's more concerned about his mother. I mean, yeah, I can understand it is your mother, but this is a huge thing. This is a huge conspiracy, and I mean, these are people spying on everyone in the silo, potentially. So, come on, man, help her out. I mean, helping her will change everything. Everyone needs to know what's going on. Everyone needs to know what's behind the mirrors. It would make sense to help her. So help her, for crying out loud. I knew there was a reason I didn't like you. As a character. I mean, seriously, help her out. She's asking for help. So please, help her. Will you? I hope you do. Because I know you like her. So help her. So now he's seeing Judicial have turned up almost immediately after she exposes the camera. And also, she knew they were on their way, so she told him, and he is literally witnessing that it's all true. Everything that she told him was true. See, this is why I think the mayor will actually help her out if she asked. I really do think he would, because he's literally stepping in to say, look, you know who she is. Basically, she's in the wrong. She shouldn't stop the sheriff. But the fact is that she's obviously been told that it's the sheriff that they're interested in. So they need to search her, and they need to find out her and what she knows and what she's doing. So we're back in the cornfield again. I'm curious now. I think I was wrong about the mayor, because I think that he might be in on it. Is there someone above Sims? If there is it him? Is he the guy above Sims? I mean, someone's got to be, right? Someone's giving orders, setting up the checkpoints and that. It can't be Sims. He's in jail. He hasn't spoken to anyone, so... And we know it's not the judge, because Sims has something over the judge. But I'm wondering if it's this guy. He did used to be the head of IT, after all. And he is one of the people that can access the hard drive. Okay, yeah, now my suspicion is definitely justified. Because he literally just said they searched her apartment. How would he know that unless he ordered it? You see my point? I think the mayor is actually the person controlling everything. He is the secret government, or shadow government, basically. You know, like that conspiracy theory from years ago where the US government was secretly being controlled by the shadow government. I remember hearing about that. And it was actually in I believe, yeah, it was actually part of the plot for a couple of movies, which were actually pretty good movies. Pretty good movies. I might hunt them out and do some breakdowns and reviews of those. What do you think, guys? Shall I? I think I will find them. But I think he is the guy. It's possible. I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible. Yeah, he just literally fucked up. Excuse the language, guys. But he did. He literally just put his foot in it. You know, he literally just said, "If you've got the hard drive, or you've got the hard drive," so he knows. He is in charge, basically. He is above Sims. Sims is following his orders. He has to be. And the mayor even literally realizes that he fucked up. So, there's actually a line there that I'm actually impressed with, because they actually changed it. They actually copied a line from Star Trek, but then twisted it around. See, he literally says, the mayor literally said, "The needs of the many require the sacrifice of the few." Or the one. So they avoided people arguing that they nicked lines from a Star Trek movie. Brilliant. Brilliant. Does that actually... I've heard that Apple may be interested in buying Star Trek from Paramount. So is that them trying, just like putting that hint in there, saying that we would love to buy Star Trek? Because I know Paramount is actually in trouble. They have a lot of debt, and they haven't made anything. It's like Disney. Neither of them have actually made anything that's actually made a profit in a while. And they are hugely in debt and losing a shit ton of money. They're losing millions upon millions. I believe it's upwards of around $500 million every quarter. So, that's what I've heard anyway. So I wonder if that's what they've done. They put that dialogue in just as a as a message saying that we would love to buy it. Why are they chasing her? They're in a field that's inside the silo, so all they have to do is guard the entrance and exit. They don't have to chase her because there's nowhere she can go. I mean, she can hide as much as she wants amongst the corn, but at some point she's going to need to leave. You know? So, I mean, why chase her through the field in the silo? It just doesn't make sense why they would chase her. And to try and say that, pretend that they heard her say that she wants to go outside, well, that explains the next 2 episodes' titles. But why chase her? I don't understand. It took a lot to get her down, didn't it? I mean, there are at least 4. I suppose it's like modern day British police. They won't tackle you unless they outnumber you at least 3 to 1, I believe. 2 people will attempt to restrain you, but they are required to have more to actually physically cuff you and arrest you. If you're reluctant to go, obviously, if you're not willing. Why would Billings believe Sims and the mayor? I mean, as far as I was aware, before Billings appeared in the field, he was still in the jail. He was still in the cell. So, did the mayor use his authority to get him out? Must have done. It's the only way, Sims could have got out if the mayor used his power. Okay, so she ran off and jumped over the railing. Here's my thought. I don't think that she's going to fall to her death because she's obviously still the main character. I reckon that she's going to be landing on the walkway below that level. She may get hurt, but anyway, yeah, I quite enjoyed that episode. I'm glad there were not as many flashbacks as I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot more flashback orientated, but I'm glad it wasn't, because it is easy for a show to go over the limit when it comes to flashbacks. But I don't like a lot of flashbacks. I don't, because it can all blend together if there's a lot of flashbacks. So it can all blend together and it can get confusing and hard to follow. But yeah, I mean, that was altogether a good episode. I enjoyed it. There wasn't actually anything in there that was too questionable. I mean, obviously, this was the first time I'd watched it, so I'm recording this as I watched it, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode, actually. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe, and you can find us now on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. I also have a Patreon. The links are all down below. I hope to see you all there. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And stay safe. Till next time.